So, everyone, welcome to Koil Kol Shiva and partners with Breslov.org. Of course, the Shiva Terah Shimon. Okay, Parshat Noach.
Progress.
Okay, all right. So this is a very interesting parsha. Oh, hello, Mordechai is here. Look at that. Okay, it's a very interesting parsha. Parshat Noach, right? Second parsha in the Torah, right? It's an amazing thing to understand really what happened and how 10 generations later, right? This is only 10 generations since Adam Rishon, right? It's 10 generations, and look what happened to the world, right? Look what happened to the world. The whole world was full of Hamas. Isn't that interesting, Rabbi Yehuda? The Torah says it was filled of Hamas, right? You hear me?
Yeah.
Filled of Hamas. Okay, so we have that also. The world today is filled of Hamas again, right? All right, so but the Torah says that we had one tzaddik, right? Ish hayatam tzaddik tamim b'dayraisa. His name was Noach, right? And pretty much Noach was responsible for saving the entire world, right? We're only around now because of one man. You ever think of that? Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu he destroyed everything except for one family, right? Noach and his family, and the animals that were saved in the Teva as well. But you see that how one person can help. One person can help to save the entire world. So no one should ever think that who am I to be able to do anything? What I do, is it going to count? Of course it counts. Anything we do, every little thing, every good thing we do, of course counts. Of course counts. And we should always remember that. All right? Now Noach, there's some that are darshim l'shvach, and some that are darshim Noach lignai. Right? Some say that if he would have been in Avraham Avinu's time, he wouldn't have been such a big tzaddik, right? And then others say, well, guess what? He wasn't in Avraham Avinu's time, and he was in the time where he was, and the Torah says he was a tzaddik. So why are you saying that he's not a tzaddik? The Torah says he's a tzaddik. It's pretty good, right? The Torah says he's a tzaddik. So why should you darshan him lignai? All right, either way. So there's many understandings in this, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Noach that he has to go into the Teva, right? Right. So what happened was Noach was he was building the Teva. Hashem told him to build the Teva. He was working on it for about 300 years, a long time, right? A very, very long time. It was a big building project, right? It was a big building project, right? He had to contact all the building suppliers and all the lumber suppliers, and he needed as much supplies as he was able to get. And he was building this Teva, and then the people would ask him, what are you doing? What are you building here? So he said he's building this Teva, he's building this ark, because Hashem's going to bring a flood on the world. And they said, you old man, what do you know? They made fun of him. They made fun of him. But Noach, if you think about it, when it came to the flood and it started to rain, so Hashem told him to go into the Teva. Why? Why didn't he not just go into the Teva? He saw it started to, Hashem told him this marvel is going to come. So why did he not go into the Teva? Right? You ever think of that? He went into the Teva mipnei hamabel, because of the war, because of the marble. If he knew the marble was coming, what happened? So we learned a couple of years ago, we learned from the Naim Elimelech, the Heilige Rebbe Ramelech, right? That said that the idea was like this. Noach thought that, look, if he doesn't go into the Teva, so maybe Hashem won't destroy the world. Maybe if he stays out of the Teva, he went through the whole Moshe, he did everything. He built it. He collected all the animals like he was supposed to do. And he put all the animals, and he did everything he was supposed to do. But he thought that if he doesn't go into the Teva, So maybe Hashem won't bring the Mabul on the world. And maybe he'll spare the world from the Mabul. And he'll spare all the people. Amazing. But again, Noach didn't know at the time that he can daven for the people. Right? Noach didn't know that. It's very nice of us to say it now. Right? You know, we said, hey, Noach, you should have davened for the people, right? And we're going to see soon where the Medrash says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that Noach was a raya, a shaita. He says after the Mabul, Noach is crying. He sees the destruction of the world. He sees how everything was destroyed, and then he's crying. Hashem said, why didn't you cry beforehand? Why didn't you cry beforehand? You see that? So whenever there's a situation, especially the dire need that we're in now, no Jew should ever think, who am I to daven? Who am I to daven? How my tefillah, what's it going to do? You never know. We never know which tefillah HaKadosh Baruch Hu is waiting for. So no Jew should ever say, who am I to daven? Yeah, who are you? You are you. You have a chelik elikam mal inside you. You're special. And you can daven, and you should daven. Because if you daven, you never know what's going to happen. You never know the good you're going to bring to the world. So here we have a Torah here from Rab Nosson, Uvasa ala Teva, when he came into the Teva, B'zeh shemuva b'zayir HaKadosh shelo haya roya neman k'Moshe, shemosa nafshei b'shvil b'nei daira. There was no shepherd, a roya, a leader of the Jewish people like Moshe Rabbeinu, that he was Meiser Nefesh. He gave over his whole being for the people. Ki Noach lo bikesh rachamim kol kach. Afilu Avram shebikesh v'hispal al anshe Sodom v'Amorah. Right? Noach, he saw what was going on. He saw all the disgust. He saw the chamas that was going on. He saw it. But he didn't know, or he didn't believe he could daven. He didn't believe it can affect anything. But Avraham Avinu, right, we're going to see, right, later on, Avraham Avinu, Hashem says to him, he sends the Malachim, right? And he tells the Malachim, tell him that one of the Malachim came and told him that Hashem is going to destroy Sodom, right? Avraham Avinu davens for them. He davens for them. Moshe Rabbeinu davens for Klal Yisrael, of course. But no one davened in a way and gave themselves over. They were so selfish, like Moshe Rabbeinu, that he said, if you're not going to forgive the Jewish people, what did Moshe Rabbeinu said? After the golden calf, the sin of the golden calf, what did Moshe Rabbeinu say? If you're not going to forgive the Jewish people, I don't want to be part of your Sefer Torah. I don't want to be part of your Torah. Take my name out. Moshe Rabbeinu says, I don't want to be part of that, Hashem. I know, Hashem, that you created tshuva before you created the world. And I know Moshe Rabbeinu was telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu that perhaps you don't want to turn to that tshuva now. But Moshe Rabbeinu, so to say, gave HaKadosh Baruch Hu an ultimatum. Unbelievable. He had no idea what was going to happen. He had no idea how HaKadosh Baruch Hu was going to react. Correct? Did he have any idea how HaKadosh Baruch Hu was going to react when he made a statement like that? He's still a boss of the dome. And he makes a statement like that. Hey, amazing. So selfless. Okay. Ayin Sham B'Zayich. Ki be'emes. HaTzadik Hador HaKol Toli Boy. Because really the Tzadik Hador, there's a Tzadik in every generation. We always have Tzadikim in every single generation. And it's all dependent on the Tzadik. Because the Tzadik knows how to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Tzaddik knows how to represent the Jewish people of the generation. It's all dependent on the Tzaddik of the generation. Ki lefi oitzim zechusai v'kedushasai kein yochel legalos b'yoser hachesed hanela. Because how great the Tzaddik is, he can look at the situation that he finds himself in that generation. That Tzaddik finds himself. And he knows how to look in that situation. He knows how to find the chesed that's found in that's hidden inside that situation. There's a chesed hidden deep inside. But the tzaddik can reveal it to show the way that we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Olam Chesed Yibana. And we know that in every single one of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he makes a din. But really, the judgment of Hashem, that's difficult as the judgment is, there's a chesed in there, because underlying everything Hashem does, he does for the ultimate good. So the tzaddik is able to reveal that. Shayidei ha-chesed, shal zeh ha-chesed, hu yochel lekayim es ha'olam b'chol eis afilu im ha'olam rechoikim k'may sheim rechoikim. Even if the world is very distant from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even if the world is very, they fell astray, they've fallen astray. Ve'ekshu tamid yesh chesed hanelam she'ein magia l'sham shum pigam klal. How the chesed, how that pigam, how that blemish of the generation, whatever that blemish may be, it doesn't touch that place of the chesed. Like in every single yid, we have the pintel yid. That no sin ever touches that pintel yid. There's an underlying chesed that's so great. The chesed is so great that no pagam can touch it. No blemish, it can't be blemished. And that's how when the tzaddik reveals the underlying chesed that's pure, the underlying pure chesed, that's the kiyum of the world, that's the existence of the world. But it's all dependent on the koyach of the tzaddik of that generation. Because we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the world with chesed. Olam chesed yibane, we know that. He made the world, he built the world, the fabric of the world he built with chesed. Levachu chesed. He made it so that there could be chesed in the world. Bechinas olam chesed yibane aval acha shebara olam. After Hashem made the world, hakol toli b'tzadik hadar. Then it's dependent on the tzaddik hadar to reveal that chesed. The chesed's there. We have a chesed right now. There's an underlying chesed that's in the world right now. With this crazy situation that we find ourselves in. This dire situation we find ourselves. There is a chesed in there. We just have to work on revealing that chesed. We have to work on revealing what is the chesed of Hashem. I'd like to suggest right now that perhaps the unity that we have in Klal Yisrael right now, that unity that we have, the movement that we have right now towards the unity, that movement that we have now towards tshuva, to return to Hashem, is something so special. Is something so special. I don't know if the country was this unified ever before. I don't know if it was ever unified like this. We don't know. I mean, we know when that day happened on October 7th, on that Shabbos, on Simchas Torah. Hatzolah sent all kind of people. Everyone went. Everyone answered the call from Hatzolah, from Ichad Hatzolah. Everyone answered the call. There were Hasidim that went. There were Chilonim that went. There was Yeshivalite that went. Everyone went. Everyone went, and they were all working together. Biyachad. They were working together in unity. That's amazing. That's an amazing thing. How everyone worked together. How everyone worked together. When we realize that we only have each other. We only have each other, and we only have HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We only have each other, and we only have Hashem. We realize that. Otherwise we rely on the nations of the world. We rely on them. But we realize now that we can't rely on them. They're useless. They only have their own ulterior motives. They don't do anything for us. They don't do anything for us. Israel didn't go to the UN and say, hey, we need some we need some aid now. All the other countries, when they go to war, they say to the UN, we need aid. right? We don't do that. Why? Because every Jew opened up their wallets and they give what they can give. We're all taking care of each other now. This is amazing. That's an amazing chesed. People are doing and they're buying and they're taking and they're doing what they can. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, I'm here. The chesed we see going on every day is unprecedented. It's unbelievable. Now look what he says here. Based on the way that tzaddik is of the generation, that's how the world runs. Look at this, even in the Dar HaMabel, the Dar of the flood, that generation of the flood. If there would have been someone there to reveal the chesed, how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Olam Chesed Yibaneh. If there would have been someone there to reveal that chesed, Hanelam, K'may Moshe Rabbeinu olav hashalom. If we would have had a tzaddik like Moshe Rabbeinu, it would have been in that generation. The world could have existed then. Alachas kama v'kama, how the world can exist today. Never give up hope. The world can exist today because we have the Torah. We have Torah's Moshe. We have what to fall on and rely on. We have the Torah. Because Noach, he didn't know, or he didn't, maybe he did know, we don't know. He didn't know to give himself over like that. He didn't know he can do that. He didn't know he could be Moshe Nefesh like that. So he wasn't able to be Megal, he wasn't able to reveal the underlying, underpinning chesed that was there. And the whole world was destroyed. The whole world was destroyed. Because there was no one to reveal the underlying chesed. Unbelievable understanding. It's an unbelievable understanding, really, what happened. Even Noach himself, he had to hide himself in the teva. Noach had to hide himself in the teva. He was the tzaddik, but he had to hide himself in the teva. Noach had to hide himself in the teva. Because the tzaddik himself is the Torah, and the Torah is chesed. But since Noach didn't have the wherewithal within him to reveal the chesed, he had to hide himself. He had to hide himself and take him out of the path of destruction of the world. The way the chesed right now is so hidden. Look where Rav Noson's writing this over 200 years ago. The chesed is so hidden. We have to work on revealing Hashem's chesed. Show Hashem's chesed. Find HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed. Ba'aloma gedoyla. V'aydezer levad nishe she'eretz ba'aretz. And because of that, there's only a remnant left in the land, in the Jewish land. Shalei nechra v'olam legamri. Right? She'eretz ba'aretz, there was, at that time, there was only a little few people left. Noach and his family. Ava Moshe Rabbeinu Avashola Moshe Nafshay. But Moshe Rabbeinu was Moshe Nefesh. Moshe Rabbeinu gave over himself. He gave over himself. Miad loy hoya migala u'ma'oira chesed anela u'makayim oilam tamid. Ava Moshe Rabbeinu Avashola Moshe Nafshay. And what happened? Miyad ad shehoya megala ma'oira chesed anela u'makayim oilam tamid. Moshe Rabbeinu taught the chesed. He showed the chesed of Hashem. And Moshe Rabbeinu showed us how HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed is there. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed is there, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed is never hidden. It's there, He can reveal it. Ad shayideze bitol hagizei rasa yizbarach niskayim oilam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, I want to destroy the world, and I'll start the world again with you. Moshe Rabbeinu said, no deal. I don't want it. I don't want it. Moshe Rabbeinu showed everybody, he showed HaKadosh Baruch Hu the good point of every single person. Even though we did what we did. Think about it. We were on Har Sinai. We came to the 50th gate, right? The 49 days of Sfirah. We came to the 49th day. The 50th day was Kabbalah HaTorah. We came to the 50th gate. We came to a place of perfection. Everyone was healed. Everybody was healed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took away the whole Gezerah of Misa. Misa was canceled. Misa was canceled. Death was canceled from the world. It was canceled. But because of a poor calculation, right? There was a poor calculation. They didn't know when the 40 days was. Moshe Rabbeinu said it'll be gone for 40 days. They didn't have the proper calculation. So what did they do? They wanted a golden calf. They wanted another God. Amazing how he fell. But Moshe Rabbeinu, instead of saying, what would a leader today say? Hey, that's a good idea, Hashem. Yeah, let's go. Everyone will come after me. Moshe Rabbeinu says, no. He shows everyone is great. Every Jew is great. Every Jew has a special point that no other Jew has. And Moshe Rabbeinu showed that to Hashem. And he showed Hashem in that way that he said that it cannot be that you're going to destroy the world. Even though we did what we did. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the 10 commandments. What was the first commandment? I am Hashem, your God. The second, don't make any foreign gods. Right? We broke the first two. We broke them. We broke the first 2 commandments. Of only 10 we got. But really, the chesed, when you reveal the chesed, and you show that the fabric of the world is chesed, the underlying fabric of the world is HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed. And that's what I believe we're going to be successful today. Because we're revealing HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed via the chesed that we are doing. By the chesed that every single Jew is doing. Every single Jew is giving what they can, doing what they can. They're devoting their time. They're devoting their money. They're devoting their lives. Everyone's doing something. Everybody's doing something. We're being megala the chesed. We're being megala the oilam chesed yibana. So this is a beautiful thing. I think this is a beautiful lesson for the time that we're in and to really understand what happened with Noach. Noach did not know that there was this underlying chesed and he can rely on it. He can reveal the underlying chesed and that's how he can save the world. Noach thought that if he doesn't go in the teva, so Hashem won't bring the mabul because he was the tzaddik. So Hashem will spare the world. Hashem said, no. You're going to have to go into the teva. You want to save yourself? You're going to have to go into the teva. Okay, any questions on this? Does anyone have any questions, any comments? It's amazing how it fits into the current events today, correct? Mamash amazing how it fits in. Any questions, any comments? Okay, all right, very good. Quiet group today. Oh Hashem. Okay, let's learn another piece here. Let's see another piece now. So okay, after the mabul was going for quite some time, right? So Noach realized that the teva had stopped, right? He realized that the teva had stopped, but he didn't know what he should do. So what does it say? Vayishlach es ha'orev. He sent out the raven. Moshe Rabbeinu sent out the raven to see what was going on. He opened the window, right? Some say that there was a stone, it was a window. Either way, he took the stone out to let the raven out. He opened the window, if it was a window. Either way it works, it doesn't matter. Right? Merumas b'zayah chodosh, being in Tevis Noach. In Parshat Noach b'daf Chav Dalet Chav Hey, okay. Shenoach loy bikesh al doirei. Like we said before, Noach didn't daven. He didn't daven for his generation. When he went out of the teva and he saw that the destruction that befell the world, Hiskil livchos, he started to cry. Allah, about what happened. Ve'eshivai HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered his cry. Raya Shatya, you're a foolish shepherd. Kan Amoris, da v'loy mekaydim. Now you have something to say, but not before. Kiven the chazan Noach kach hikriv alov v'karban. Since Noach saw this, he brought oilos and karbanos. He brought sacrifices to Hashem. Okay. Ayin shamash and mavayasham malas Moshe Rabbeinu shemasa nafsha ya Yisrael b'yitzila. The difference, like we said, we learned a moment ago, the difference between Noach and Moshe Rabbeinu, and the comparison. Moshe, why can you compare the two? It's very simple. Noach had a teva, and what was Moshe Rabbeinu? Miriam put him in a little teva also. He also went in a teva, right? He was also saved by a teva. That's the basic connections between Moshe and Noach. Okay, here we go. And therefore, that's why Noach didn't besiege HaKadosh Baruch Hu with mercy on his generation. He didn't even know him by himself if he'll be saved. He had no idea. He was a tzaddik, but he didn't know how righteous he was. He didn't know he was a real... He didn't know. Ayin Shem Shemarach Kamash HaKadosh Baruch Hu Roitze Sheyavakshu Rachmim HaYisrael. How HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants so much that we're Mevakesh Rachmim on Klal Yisrael. We have to beg Hashem right now for the situation we're in. We have to beg the Rebbeinu Shem for his Rachmanis, for his mercy. We have to beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu for his mercy to save Klal Yisrael from the terrible strait, the situation we find ourselves in today. In the whole world, wherever Jews are. Wherever Jews are in the world. It's not peachy anywhere. It's not peachy anywhere today. It's not. And don't let anyone delude themselves to think, well, the problem's over there, but it's not by me. Esav Soin El Yaakov. We know that, right? It's a halacha. Right? Rashi says that's halacha. Esav Soin El Yaakov. Right? We're called Yaakov. The world is Esav. Esav Soin El Yaakov. No matter where you are. Anyway. HaKadosh Baruch Hu writes, Sheyavakshu Rachmim HaYisrael. Hashem wants that we request Rachmanis for Klal Yisrael, to help Klal Yisrael. Afilu imeim k'moishem, no matter how we are, how distant we find ourselves. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to rely on His Rachamecha Arabim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's great mercy. Vayin shamash ha'kosav al apostle v'yishlach es ha'orev, zeh David. V'yishlach es ha'orev, embrace zeh David. Shaya koirei tamid ka'orev. David HaMelech was called the Orev. Umasha kosav sham al apostle v'yishlach es ha'yoyna, ad v'lo yosfa, shuv elav oid. So we know he came back, and then he went out, and he didn't come back again. Because it says in Lekutei Maran in Torah Zai Evav, in lesson 6, in the very beginning, if a Jew wants to go in the way of tshuva, he wants to turn back to Hashem. He says, I had enough of this. I had enough of the way I was living. I had enough of the fact that I was distant from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I want to make my way back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He wants to go in the way of tshuva. Tzarich liyas baki b'halacha. He has to be a baki in halacha. What halacha? Tzarech liyas lo shnei bekiyos. He has to have two. He has to be an expert in two things. What are the two things? Hainu baki berotzoi ubaki b'shayv. He has to be a baki berotzoi, baki b'shayv. What is that? Watch. The oil v'nafik. The Zohar says in Vayakel, Reishud Gimel, and Azinu Reish Tzadik Beis, Zakamon the oil v'nafik. How fortunate is this one that knows how to go up and knows how to go down. He knows ups and he knows his downs. Up means when you're searching for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you go up to Shemayim, you'll find Hashem is there, Shamata, He's there. The Bechinas Ayel, Bechinas Baki Berotzi, Ayel going up, Shemayim, Rotzi, running to Hashem, running towards Hashem. But then it also says, Va'etzia, Sha'ol Hineka, Bechinas V'nafik. But if a person finds he fell down, and he finds he's very low, and he's distant, he's in the shawl, he's in the valley, he's in the pit of death. Hineka, Hashem is there. Bechinas Baki B'shav. So you have to have Shnei Bekiyim. One is a Baki B'rotzei, one is a Baki B'shav. You have to know how to go towards Hashem, and to stay, and to know where to quit, what you could ask Hashem, what you don't ask Hashem, things that we ask, things that we don't ask, things that we have rishus to talk about, things we don't have rishus to talk about. And then the person has to know if he fell down. If he fell down, and he fell down deep, and he doesn't know how to get back, to know Hashem is there. And to find Hashem in that place, wherever that place is, to know Hashem is Hineka. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there too. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekai Mai Shel Olam, V'loyat Olam Mekai Mai. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the world. Everything in the world is Hashem's. And since everything in the world is Hashem's, you could find HaKadosh Baruch Hu everywhere in the world. Nothing is void of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Elikus, of His godliness. If it ceases to have a spark of Elikus in it, it would cease to exist. It can't exist. It can only exist because of the spark of godliness in there. Ayin sham b'sayve b'sayv kavanas elo shemavaya sham ha'perish ha'poshet she'ika shemi she'roitz aloshuv tzarich lachgor mosnov. A person has to gird himself. He has to gird himself she'yechazek atzmai b'darkei Hashem. If he wants to go in the ways of Hashem, and he wants to understand that it's going to be the aliyahs and yeridas. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. No, you never stay on a flat plateau when you're serving God. Whenever you're serving God, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. We have to know that. Aliyahs and yeridas. Chazal taught us that there's only a yeridas l'tzayrich the aliyah. You only go down to come back up higher. Same way we always say, that if a person wants to jump up high, right? What do? You crouch down. And then you could spring up, right? If I told you, let's jump as high as you can jump. So what do? You go down, and then you could jump up. If you can go down, then you can jump up higher. That's why the Yerida, you have to have the first Yerida to be able to come up and have the Aliyah. Ayin Sham. V'chol ha'pagam shel Noach. The whole pagam, the whole blemish of Noach v'tikunai, hakol hui b'inyan b'kiyas. Noach didn't understand this concept. He didn't understand this concept of b'kiyas. He wasn't an expert in the aliyah and the yerida. Baki b'rotzli, baki b'shav. He didn't understand that. Shalaya baki b'alocha zois shal dakei atshuva. He didn't understand the way of tshuva. Then when you're going to come back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're going to go up, you're going to go down. To my Moshe Rabbeinu, the Moshe Rabbeinu v'tzadikim ha'gedolim shemamshichim da'akei tshuva. The way Moshe Rabbeinu and the other tzadikim that bring the way of tshuva to the world. V'bekiyas nifla mi'ayt. With this expertness, they had a tremendous understanding, a tremendous knowledge of this concept of the up and the down. Ki no yachai tzadik tam. Noach himself was a tzaddik in his generation. Avaloi hisik she'ef shelot zeitzu lo hayvid atzmai listakal al rishoyim keilu la'asik imoyim limsoi bahem ezes chus lispalel aleim. Noach didn't know that he can go out and he can engage with the rishoyim. He could work with them and he could find some good point in the Russia. He could find some good point and try to lift up this Russia from that. Noach didn't know that. Lasik imayim l'maitzim hem ezechus l'spalalim and daven for them, u'la'oiram and to awaken in them, based in the kuda taiva, whatever good point that they have. Focus on the good point. L'chol zeh osik Moshe v'atzadikim, Moshe Rabbeinu and the tzaddikim that followed, that preceded after Moshe Rabbeinu, the great tzaddikim shachar b'yigiyas atzumas. They put a lot of effort. They toiled in this. Shekol zeh kolu b'chinas b'kiyas. All of this is included in this aspect of being an expert ba'ayil v'nofik, up and down. Ayil, aliyah, nofik, coming down. Balkin sava halavai shiyatzil es atzmai. Noach was saying, halavai, hopefully I'll be able to save myself. He didn't know how far-reaching Hashem's Rachmanis is. He didn't know. Therefore, he had to go into the Teva. He had to cover him, hide himself in there in order to save himself. That Teva, that Ark of Noach, was built with great wisdom, with great holiness, lofty holiness. If you only understood the measurements, how each measurement was so important, the Torah gives specific instructions on how he has to build it. Each one's another letter in the Torah. Each one shows how lofty it really was. It was so wide, so expansive, so broad. The whole binyan and the entire building process. As the Torah explains to us, every prat, every nuance of the building. Vihi meramezes ala tshuva shoysim b'yom kippurim, b'yom kippur. This is hinted to the tshuva that we all do on Yom Kippur. K'may shekasa b'zayir hakodesh tevas Noach do Yom Kippur. Look at this. If you want to see this, it's in Tikkun Chaf Aleph, Daf Nun Daled on the second page. Tevas Noach do Yom Kippur. The Teva of Noach, that's Yom Kippur. Teva is the word. Teva is also, it's an ark, but Teva also means a word. The words that we daven, we turn back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Teva of Noach, the Zohar says, is Yom Kippur. V'chein isa sham, v'tanach ha-teva b'chodesh hashvi. The Teva stopped. The Teva stopped. When? On the 7th month, Da Tishrei. That's the month of Tishrei. We just finished the month of Tishrei. That was Tishrei. All the Svarim talk about this, that the Tevas of Noach, the words, are the words, hu bechinas, that's an aspect of the Diburim, va'teva shel tefila ba'koshes, she'yisrael mispalim mischanin. That the fact that when we daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when we beseech Hashem, u'mischanin, beseech, Yal ken kol kenisas Noach ela teva ze bechinas ayah. The whole fact that Noach went into the teva, that was an aliyah. That was an aliyah. Noach was going into this lofty idea, this lofty concept, that each board that he built, each nail that he banged it in with tremendous chachma. He couldn't say nothing because he didn't know this. He didn't know to go back down. He didn't know that people are going to have their downs. That's the main point that you need to know. When you go down, you're only going down to go up. There's no Yerida, only the Tzorech and Aliyah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu never sends us down unless He's testing us to see if we can go up higher. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded Noach, go into the Teva. Shul bechinas ayel, have your Aliyah. V'sham yaster atzmai, there hide yourself. Im kol bonav, v'im kol minei chayos, v'oifais v'tzmachim. Hide yourself in there with your family. Hide yourself in there with all the animals. Hide yourself in there with all the birds. Hide yourself in there with all the vegetation. B'shvil kiyam olam, in order that you're about to keep the world in existence. Because after Noach came out of the Teva, he replanted everything. He had one of each species of every plant, and he replanted it. And he had one of each. He had seven pure animals, right? And he had the mates, right, to the 7 pure animals. And then he had a couple, only one in one, a male and a female of the unpure animals, so that way they can continue to exist. The same way that he was incumbent upon Noach to be commanded by Hashem to go into the Teva. Mipnei Amabel. We said before that Noach didn't want to go into the Teva because Noach thought that if he stands outside, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't want to destroy him with the world. So maybe Hashem wouldn't start the Teva, wouldn't start the Mabel. But what has HaKadosh Baruch Hu said? Commands him, go into the Teva. Kamay kein hutzrich litztavo vavois me Hashem yisbarach lotzeis me ateva. And therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu also had to take, since he commanded him to go in, HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded him, now it's time to go out. You had your Aliyah. You were with me in this Teva. You were with me, with your family, with all the animals, with all the vegetation, with all the birds. You had your Aliyah. Now it's time to go into the world. Now it's time to be b'baki b'rotzi, baki b'shav. Now you have to go down. Go out now. You got a command from Hashem to go out. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to command him to go out. That's an aspect of going down, because the Gedi was with Hashem, nice and cozy in the Teva. In the Tefillah, we said the Teva was the Tefillah, davening to Hashem, beseeching Hashem, until he was able to sweeten that judgment that came upon the world of the world at the time of the flood. HaKadosh Baruch Hu remembered Noach. Hashem remembered that Noach was in the Teva. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu there took compassion on his world, like we said before. Go out, Noach, from the Teva. Go out from the Teva. V'karina and hayetzia. Perish Rashi. What does it mean? Emor lahem sheyetzu. He had to tell all of the animals, go out. He had to tell his family, go out. They were so comfortable being together, all in the Teva. Go out. Rashi says, Emor lahem to them. Who was them? Everyone, every animal, bird that was in the Teva, go out. Sheyetzu. If they didn't want to go, take them out against their will. Take them out, push them out. They got to go out. Me, sheroitze loshuv, hoya marutza sheyanichu, leishev tomid bebeis hamedrash. Anyone who wants to come back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he has to regularly stay in the base medrash, b'mokim kodesh, v'lasek b'torah tefillah, to engage himself, what? In the study of Torah and in the words of prayer. But Hashem wants the kiyum of the world. He wants to see the existence. He wants to see the world flourish. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu works it out that he's going to have to go out of the base medrash. He'll have to go out of the base medrash to go to use the restroom, for example. He'll have to go out to make learn his livelihood, to earn livelihood. All of that is the Yerida. Because again, when you're in the base medrash, when you're in the study hall, and you're in the base tefillah, and you're in the place you're in the place of prayer. So you have an aliyah. That's wonderful, wonderful. But now, what are you going to do when you go out? When you go out, say you have to go out. That's very hard because the person feels comfortable being in the base medrash. It's nice. It's wonderful there. Because he knows when he goes out, he's in a great risk. He's at a great risk. It won't go without this. That's why all the animals, the inhabitants of the Teva, all of those that were inhabiting the ark, they didn't want to go out. Hashem said, go out. Because Hashem wants us to serve Him within the confines of the world. Do business, go out and do business honestly. Do business in a nice way. Go out and give charity. Go out and help people. Go out and do chesed. This is what Hashem requires us. He wants us to do. Shehu bichloloi bechinas v'nofik kineged oilomos hakedoshim. That again, when you take it and you put it against the base medrash, it's certainly a Yerida. But really the Baal Shem HaKadosh taught that really that's not true. It's not true when we go out and we do things in an honest way and we're careful what we do and we follow Shulchan Aruch and we make a Kiddush Hashem out there. That's great. That's amazing. And therefore the world needs to be in that way, and our avodah has to be in that way, our service to God has to be in that way, that there are times we go up, there are times we go down. But to know we only go down so we can go up higher. That's why he sent the Orev. We said the Orev was David HaMelech, the raven. David HaMelech was calling always like the Orev, like the raven. He took him out, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from the Malchus, he went out, but he comes back. He went out, the David HaMelech had to go out. The Gemara says that David HaMelech every day wanted to be in the base medrash every day. The Gemara says, but he didn't know what happened. His feet took him some other place. His idea was to be in the base medrash. His idea was to stay with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but his feet took him somewhere else. The Ksiva David Oila b'malei hazesim haylechu vayche v'roish leichafu hayayoytze v'shav b'tshuva v'zvada al chatoisav. David HaMelech went out, and we know David HaMelech did tshuva on his sins. Umevakish rachamim aleim ad sheyoyveshes hamayim ad kan l'sheini v'ayin sham mashe peris v'yishlach es hayoyna sholosh pamim. It says that Noah sent out the Yonah, the dove. The dove, he sent it out 3 times. Shemarames al hagolas. Al hagolas ha'achrin. It's hinting to the 3 Goliaths and the 4th Goliath. The last one, hagolas ha'achrin. Hazeh, that we're in now. Shenem olav. V'lo yosva shuv elav oid. He didn't come back again. And therefore our golus is so long today. Why is our golus so long today? Because that bird, that yoina, didn't come back to the teva. You believe that? Unbelievable. Thousands of years ago, there was a bird that went out that didn't come back. And the Zohar is teaching us that that's why the Golus is so long and so bitter. That's why our Golus is so long. Avalafal pichein. Hu yizbarach mizuman umechake emosai toshel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is prepared, He's waiting, and He's longing. When are we going to return? Ayin Sham Kol Zeitiv Al Kein Hoya Kol Atikun Ayidei Keshes Habris Shevticha Hashem Yisbarach. It therefore is all dependent on the Keshes, the rainbow. The rainbow. Shevticha Hashem Yisbarach, that Hashem made His promise. Es Kashti Nasati Ba'ana. My rainbow I place in the clouds. Keshes habris ze bechinas Rosh Hashanah shetaken by b'shoifer tikia shvarim teruah. Look what the Zohar says, unbelievable. Keshes, when it says the keshes habris ze bechinas, that's Rosh Hashanah shetaken by b'shoifer tikia shvarim teruah. The simonim keshes. The simon is keshes. Unbelievable. You ever hear this before, Rabbi Yehuda? Kamuva b'dvarav zal. That's the great tzaddik, that it's very, very careful with the bris kodesh. The three sudas of Shabbos are connected to the three sounds that's uttered from the horn, from the shofar. And He promised that even amongst the cloud, when the world's going to seem dark, the cloudy day, and it's dark, it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu's clouds were on the earth. Gam oz v'nirosa keshes bana, and you'll see the rainbow in the cloud. Yamshich kedusha Shabbos. You can draw the kedusha, the holiness of Shabbos. Ayidei akibbutz shel Rosh Hashanah shaz taikim b'shofar hakolos hakedoshim simonim keshes. The three. Do you ever hear this? Unbelievable. That the simonim of the tekiah teruah tekiah shvam teruah. These blessed that we have. These blessed that we have from the shofar are connected to Shabbos, the three sudas of Shabbos. Unbelievable. 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 We're waiting for those days, for that pasuk to come true from Yeshaya. It's going to be on that very day. You talk about shofar gadol. They're going to give a blast with the great big shofar. And all of those Jews that were destined, that were sent away to Eretz Ashur, and those that were pushed away, and they'll all come back. They're all going to come back. There'll be the ingathering of the exiles. And this is the way the whole thing of tshuva ba'olam. Shein bechinas bekiyas ba'alocha. Everyone needs to know this. Ba'ayel v'nafik lahachzik etz atzmai afilu b'shol tachtiyas. Even if a person finds himself in the valley of death, he finds himself in the pit of death, in the grave, the deep, deep, dark grave. B'shol tachtiyas bechinas va'ayotza sh'ol hineka. But I know Hashem is there with me. Shayideze Yisku Yisrael L'Kayim Ritzayne Yisbarach Ma Shemechake Lahem Sheyeshuvu Al Kalponim Ke'enai Demechata. HaKadosh Baruch Hu we're waiting. We say this on Yom Kippur. We say this on Rosh Hashanah. Is Mechake, the return of the Rishayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu desires us to come back. Kimoi Shekasu Sham B'Zayah Chodesh V'Zel L'Shoynei V'i Knesset Yisrael Ef Tachas Tshuva Eina de Mechata Ana Eftach La Tarin the Ravravit. HaKadosh Baruch will open up the gate. He'll open up everything for us. All we need to do is we need to come back with tshuva. Even though it seems it's hard, mi'oitzem is gorus abal davar, because the Yetzer Hara is always attacking us. V'hika al yedei ma'piloi b'chol pam. You could push him down every single day. How do you push down the Yetzer Hara every single day? It's very simple, by knowing that Hashem is wherever you are. You can't be anywhere in the world without having Hashem with you. We know the first thing in Shulchan Aruch opens up, Shivisi Hashem Lenegdi Summit. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always there with me. How do we know that? Because we all have a neshama. And the neshama is a chelik elikom imal. The neshama is a piece of God inside of us. As a piece of God inside, so no matter where we are, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mekai Moshe Rabbeinu, and the V'olam Loi Mekai Mai. Hashem is everything in the world, so no matter where you find yourself in the world, no matter what situation you find yourself in, Hashem is there with you. You could easily turn to Hashem, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and say, Aye, like we say in the Kesser, Aye, Mekayim Kivoidai. Where is your glory? Reveal yourself, Hashem, to me. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised Noach. He shouldn't worry if he goes out of the teva. Shul bechinas nafik, you're going to have that yerida. You're going to go down. You're in the place of the teva that was the aliyah, but you're going to go down. You're going to have that yerida. Ki b'ma yiskayim alam. How's the world going to continue? Ki rov ehaving goydel is goretz hayetzer hara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw how the Yetzer Hara attacks us. Aval Hashem Yisbarach hiftichoi bekeshes ha'abrit shu bechinas ha'tzadik emes shekolu mikol tikunim anal. Because we said, like we learned in the lesson before, that tzaddik in the generation, whoever the tzaddik is of that generation, can be megala the chesed of Hashem of that world. That in that generation, he can be megala the chesed. When he reveals the chesed of Hashem, that's the tikkun. Until there's going to be, until the Gula Shalem is going to come, the complete redemption is going to come. B'mheira v'yameinu, amen. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to send us the great redemption. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mamish working on it right now. You can smell it. You can smell Mashiach is mamish in the air. We just have to hold on a little bit longer. The Holy Noam Elimelech said, every Shalashudis used to say, and I will finish with this, that there's a rope, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a rope from Shemayim. And what's that rope? That's the Chevel of Emunah. That's the rope of Emunah. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu at the end of time, right now, this is the end of time. At the end of time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to shake that rope up on high. And you know when you have a rope that's very high and you move it a little bit on the top, you've just moved the top a little bit, the reverberations are tremendous on the bottom. There's tremendous reverberations. And the Noam Elimelech taught that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't do that. That's the Chevel Emunah. And those that are Jews that are holding on with the Emunah. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to shake the rope a little more. He's going to want to see who's a true Mammon. Who's true as B'tachan in Hashem. And those that will stay on and hold on till the very end. Those are the people that are going to see the big Geula. They're going to see the big Geula. So who are those people? The ones that know that I have to stay with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I have to have a bikiyas. Baki berotzui, baki b'shav. I have to know when things are going good, how to stay in line and not to go out of line when things are going good. And then I know when things are not going good. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're there with me. I know how to get back because that's how it is. Like we're going to learn in a few weeks where Yaakov Avinu had a ladder. Yaakov Avinu's ladder was Mutzav Artzav Eroishe Megia Shemaima. Yaakov Avinu's ladder was down in this earth. It was planted in the earth, but the top of the ladder was in Shemayim. And there were malachim oilim v'yardim. They went up and down. That's the aliyah, baki b'shav. Baki b'ayah, baki b'nafik. Baki b'rotzi, baki b'shav. And this is what we have to know, Chevra. So I wish everyone a wonderful Shabbos. And we should see mamish shalom we should see shalom. And what's the real shalom? We see we'll vanquish all of our enemies. Any entity in the world, any person in the world that has the desire to hurt any Jew, Hashem should cease from them to exist in the world. all of the destruction should cease to exist. I wish everyone, B'sayros Tayvos, Lanu L'chol Yisrael, wherever you are, everyone, thank you for listening. Next week, we will not have a class. Next week, I'm going to be traveling. Well, that's if the plane takes off. We have no idea. My intentions are to travel. If things change for some reason, and I can't travel on Wednesday, so then we will have a class. So we'll stay tuned, everyone. Okay? Kol Tuv, thank you very much for joining. Kol Tuv, everybody.
Kol Tuv.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Hi, Bobby.
Hello.